This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
And welcome everybody to episode 63 of the Animanicast.
Oh man, I'm a dead bird.
This limo's gotta stop sometime, right? When it does, bada bing, we get the egg.
Yeah, that's it. We get the egg. You're a genius, Bobby.
Bobby's right. Don't worry, Pesto. We'll get the egg. Hey, what'd I do?
Nothing. Just felt like whacking somebody.
And welcome once again to the Animanicast. We are the only podcast out there that is dedicated to the animated series, Animaniacs. Here we explore the series episode by episode, revisiting all the cultural references and gags, and in the end, we give each episode a water tower rating. I am Joey, and joining me once again in Los Angeles, it's Nathan.
Okay, beardy head.
And across the country in Georgia, it's Kelly.
Hello.
I love that beardy head joke. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about episode 63 of Animaniacs, which features these segments with 3 You Get Eggroll, Mermaid Mindy, and a Katie Kaboom segment called Call Waiting. And what do you guys think? In a few words, what would you say about this episode? Nathan?
It's a nice filler episode, I guess.
And Kelly, what about you?
I agree with Nathan.
Okay, just defer comments to Nathan. Very good.
You get that quota, you got a certain number of episodes you got to make by the end of the season, and, yeah.
This one's not the standout one, I suppose, right?
No.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into it. Nathan, tell us, when did this episode first premiere?
Oh, that is a great question, Joey. So this episode first premiered on Monday, May 9th, 1994, which now Animaniacs is now basically a weekly episode. It's airing on Mondays for the rest of season 1. So I'll just tell you what happened in this week. Barbra Streisand begins her first concert tour in 30 years. Nelson Mandela officially sworn in as the South America's first black president. And the movie The Crow is released.
Oh, The Crow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that got... that had a big cult following. Boy, oh boy. I had kids at my high school dressed up as the Crow. Did you have Crow kids at your school? I mean, they're called goths now, but that was like a new occurrence back in the early 90s. But
yeah, I knew lots of people that were just really obsessed with that movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it to this day. I just doesn't speak.
I've seen it once.
Yeah, I remember some kids that swore by that movie. Well, Nathan, I think we should mention that. You said that the Animaniacs is only on Mondays now. Well, technically, I think it was like every day. Well, at least weekdays. But the new episodes, right? Yeah, it was still every day after school, but. You have to make sure you're there on Monday afternoon, especially to get the new episodes, right? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into our discussion of today's episode. And we're going to start off with 3, You Get Eggroll.
This is Maurice LaMarche, the voice of Squid the Pigeon from the Goodfeathers and Animaniacs. And you're listening to the Animanicast. Don't hit me, Pesto!
And with 3, You Get Eggroll was written by Deanna Oliver and directed by Greg Grena and Dave Marshall. And Nathan, tell us what happens here with 3, You Get Eggroll.
So we have a Goodfeathers cartoon, and we have Pesto who has to watch after a little egg for his sister. So he's looking at his nephew or niece, and ends up getting kind of made fun of by the other Goodfeathers, so he pretends like he's not supposed to be egg watching, egg sitting, I guess, like babysitting. Anyway, the egg ends up coming out of the nest, and they chase it all over the city. They end up finding it because some little boy takes it and puts it into his pile of eggs. They have no idea which egg is which, so they ended up taking all the eggs back to her, as the godfather suggested they do. And then when the
god pigeon,
pigeon.
Yes.
Sorry. The god pigeon says, "Just take all the eggs, because women love eggs."
Yeah.
Are you sure he said that? Because it sounded like.
Oh yeah. It didn't sound like good advice. It didn't sound. This is like the first time, by the way, that I think the god pigeon had a horrible idea. It's like usually the god pigeon has like, oh, and that's what you should do.
Good idea. Horrible idea.
Yeah, exactly. Good idea. Not even bad idea. Just horrible idea.
Right.
Anyway, Nathan. So what happens?
Might have been Bobby. Might have just misheard or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, apparently it was very stinky around there too, so that might have had an effect.
Yeah.
On
Yeah, women. Forget about it. Eggs this, babies that.
Anybody notice the god pigeon had gas?
So the girl feathers come back and they are not pleased. So they start beating up all the good feathers, and then they cut to them in a trash can, and Pesto's never gonna egg sit again. There you go.
And yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, let's see. When it comes to references to other stuff, I mean, it was kind of weird watching this episode because that boy looked really familiar. I was like, who is that kid? That character model was like, it just looked familiar. And sure enough, it turns out that it's the same character model, I believe, as Katie Kaboom's brother, who shows up later in this episode. Of course, so maybe like Katie Kaboom's brothers got separated. I think there was like she had twin brothers and they were separated at birth at the nursery or something. And one went to New York and the other one went to Katie's house in the suburbs. Like it's totally two different moms at this house. But anyway, this whole, that's my theory. I'm going to put that up.
Right.
Yeah. I got to get these fan theories going. Anyway, the main trivia point for this episode is that the title is called With 3 You Get Eggroll. And there was a movie in 1968 called With 6 You Get Eggroll. So there you go. It doesn't have anything to do with eggs, I don't think, or anything like that. But that's pretty much it, I guess. That's. Oh wait, there was like one little neat little background thing I saw that looked kind of cool. The old woman that they fall into in the limo, and they're kind of like on her fur coat for a moment, is going into a place called the Shady Alibi Room, which I thought was curious that this old woman has some sort of shady alibi to deal with. But other than that was pretty much all the little things I saw. So tell me, guys, what do you guys think? What are some moments in this cartoon that you thought were humorous? Nathan, let's start with you.
I liked the Macho Man little reference there. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I ain't no embryo, yo.
No matter what you do, Pesto, egg sitting included, you're still the most macho bird I know.
What do you mean by that?
I said you're macho, that's all.
Are you saying that I am one of the village people here to disco for you? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
You're saying that I am macho.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's it. I'll give you macho. Ow, come on. Here's your macho, you big meatball. Take that. I'll whack you to Tacoma.
I did like that Macho Man reference right there with the village people. That was one of my favorite songs as a kid. It's still a good song. It's fun. It's that song will get you moving.
I thought he was going to go about like, oh, you think I'm chips with cheese on it or something like that. But
oh yeah, nacho. Yeah, Pesto didn't really get mad at the other, his fellow good pigeons in this one, or good feathers, I should say, in this one. It was just Pesto got really beat up, if anything, in this one more than anybody. Kelly, what about you?
I liked when Pesto hit Squit, and he said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "No reason. I just felt like whacking somebody."
He's just having a bad day on this one right here. And he's a terrible uncle, by the way. Pesto is just a horrible uncle.
I think he apparently found the right egg at the end. but
You never know.
He's pretty sure. He's like, aha! But
you know, that's one thing I thought I was waiting to see what happened at the end of this cartoon. Like all the eggs start hatching, and it
seemed like they didn't know how to end the episode.
Yeah, it's like, well, there's a cute duck. The duck was very cute.
That cute duck.
Cute, and it gave like little Pesto a kiss, and it was so cute. Or maybe it was Bobby a kiss. Yeah, that was what happened. But then all the snakes and the lizards start hatching at the end because all these different
snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Well, I'll tell you, that kid is a hoarder when it comes to eggs.
Hey, Ma! I found a bird egg! Oh, no. Out! Not in the house, Zachy! What is it with you and eggs?
Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next cartoon, and it is called Mermaid Mindy. Mermaid Mindy was written by Nicholas Hollander, and it was directed by Alfred Gimeno. And Kelly, tell us what happens here in Mermaid Mindy.
Well, this Buttons and Mindy was very different than the usual because Mindy and Buttons are mermaids, or mer dogs and mer kids. And so they have tails, and they live under the ocean. And I kept expecting Little Mermaid to pop up because in the last episode it was a total Beauty and the Beast homage, and they really dropped the ball, and I didn't see any Little Mermaid references, so I was very disappointed. And Buttons is watching over Mindy, and she's got her little tether, and it's made of seaweed, looks like. And of course she gets loose. And Buttons goes chasing after her, and he encounters a shipwreck and shark and an eel and all the dangers of the ocean. And then he finally gets Mindy back to, or well, I guess she makes her way back to where her mom is. And Buttons is continued to be attacked by the shark, but he manages to get away from him, and he gets in trouble for ruining the garden. And
that's the typical kind of ending, except you're just underwater. So, Mindy and Buttons. Well, there we go. So, under the sea, Mindy and Buttons. Yeah, you're right, Kelly. There wasn't really any references here to any Little Mermaid stuff other than, well, you know what? I guess there kind of was. The eel in this, the electric eel kind of really did look like...
If I stretch it, I was like, well, maybe.
Yeah, but it was really kind of not much right there. And the house under the water kind of looked like the Flintstones house to me for some reason. I don't know, but it was an interesting design choice with this one. I did not really like Buttons' design. That kind of creeped me out as a seahorse Buttons. You know what I mean? I just kind of felt like maybe, I don't know, I guess you can't make him a mermaid dog, but I don't know. It just kind of creeped me out, his lizardy tail. I didn't like it. But when it comes to references to other stuff, I mean, there's not much stuff there, I don't think. But what are some moments that you guys like? Nathan?
My favorite line, I think, is Mr. Funny Nose when he's talking to the dolphin.
Want me to help you out of the net, Mr. Funny Nose? Okay.
What about the time? What about the thing where, of course, she gets picked up by Neptune at one point, and she calls him Mr. What did he call him, Mr. Beardy Face?
Just Beardy Head.
Beardy Head.
Mindy, you did right by saving the porpoise from the nets. That was good.
Beardy Head.
No, Mindy. I am Neptune, ocean ruler and protector of all the sea.
Beardy Head.
I like the way she does, like, the implosion or whatever, like the beardy head and funny nose,
That was probably the highlight for me, was just the Neptune part, which that might be referencing Clash of the Titans. I think Neptune appears in that, perhaps. But other than that, I really don't know what that might be from. Kelly, what about you? Any moments in this that kind of stood out? I know it was kind of a disappointment they didn't do Little Mermaid references in there, but anything you thought was kind of cute?
I know. Well, I did notice, or at least I thought I noticed, that Mindy almost talked in full sentences once or twice. She seemed to have more words in her vocabulary in this episode.
So
yeah, like when she was asking if the dolphin want to be saved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Neptune sounded a lot like Santa Claus in the Rudolph Christmas special.
Well, hi there. Aren't you the sturdy little fellow? Ho, 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 ho.
Santa.
And smart, too.
It did seem to touch on, environmental messages. Like, it got there and it quickly went away from it before they could really make the point. You know what I mean? Like, she gets stuck in a dolphin net, like dolphins getting stuck in tuna nets was something that we were trying to be cognizant of in the 90s. And of course, water pollution, she goes to this whole area and she goes, ooh, stinky and everything like that. But it didn't really affect the plot in any way, It was kind of like even like with Buttons, like trying to free Mindy from the net, she got out of it herself. You don't need, I guess really when it comes down to it is that there's a lot of dangerous things in the ocean. You have these octopus, octopi that will, possibly squeeze the baby and everything. But Mindy's pretty good at taking care of herself. She even took like a shark chainsaw fish and like sawed her harness off. So I don't know. She's pretty capable. I think, Buttons really just needed to chill out and just let her come back eventually. She always does. But anyway. Well, any other things in this one you guys thought were cool, or should we just close it out with Katie Kaboom?
I did like the ladies, Mindy's mom response to her Mindy calling her lady, saying like maybe it's a passive aggressive thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that is that is often very much the highlight. It's not necessarily Mindy and Buttons, but just the adults talking about this this dog and more likely Mindy is funny. Well, and Buttons taking the shark back to the house. I thought that was a bad idea. The shark.
Like, he led the shark all the way back to Mindy. Like,
but again, another reference. They could have put the Jaws theme in or something similar to it.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, it was there. So let's go ahead and close things up with Katie Kaboom. And Katie Kaboom in this last one right here is called Call Waiting. And Katie Kaboom Call Waiting was written once again by Nicholas Hollander, and it was directed by Greg Reyna and Dave Marshall. So in this cartoon, Katie is using the phone, and, Katie's family only has one landline. They have call waiting, so you can always hear when people are calling, but it's back in the day before caller ID or anything, so you didn't know who was calling. You just had to click the phone and go, hello? Okay, I'll call you back. I'm on the other line, which, that's on today's standards, that would be kind of a rude thing to do. But back in the early 90s, it was more like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm not number one priority right now. You talk to whomever you need to talk to.
I got in trouble one time because I was on the phone and the caller waiting beeped in and I ignored it. And I found out later it was my granny who her car broke down and she needed a ride. Yeah. So I was like, you should have switched. I was like, I didn't know who it was, and I was on the phone. I was very important English assignment or something going on, and but yeah, it was call waiting could be so annoying, but
yeah, and of course this is also before we had now of course this is totally a scene that would be from the 90s previously. This did not go on today. Number one, because of landlines and cell phones. And of course, kids don't even talk on the phone anymore. They're constantly texting or Snapchatting or Facebook. And, it's a different world these days. But anyway, so Katie's dad is, I guess he misses he almost misses an important business call. And Katie asked the dad if, who called? Was it Mike or Joel? And
somebody called me. Who was it?
Oh yeah, it was a boy. Didn't get his name.
A boy? A boy? Oh my golly, was it Jared or was it Ralph, Mike or Joel?
I'm sorry, honey. I'm not sure. I don't know.
You don't know? My life is ruined!
Oh dear, here we go again.
Katie freaks out. This time, Katie doesn't just turn into a monster. She turns into various phone kind of creatures. It was kind of scary. For some reason, it reminded me of the vacuum cleaner, actually, and the Brave Little Toaster or something like that. Just the way it was animated, it was weird. It looked very, very weird to me. But actually, not the vacuum cleaner and Brave Little Toaster. He was the good guy. There was a phone. Yes, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me a little bit of the Brave Little Toaster. There's like evil creatures in this one shop, and there's like a phone one, and there's all these different talking evil appliances, and Katie really looked like one of them. Anyway, but that's pretty much it. She blows up the house and then finds out that it was, who it was, and then it's just about a homework assignment, and that's it. And that's Katie Kaboom. Well, well, I don't know if you guys want to talk about this or just any remembrances about what that was like with the phone back then in the 90s. But what did you think about the cartoon, Nathan?
I kind of see why Katie's upset. I mean, she got off the phone for her dad, and her dad can't even take a proper message to say like, "Oh, you can let me know who's," it takes 2 seconds, but whatever. And like, she got off the phone immediately. Like, that in itself was, I thought, really nice of Katie. So.
All right, and Kelly, anything to say about this Katie Kaboom one?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I already shared some remembrances of the days of call waiting, and I think about the time this episode came out, we already had a second phone line because of the internet. So
yep.
Things were sort of moving in a better direction. But I did notice, at least on Katie's face at one point, I thought the animation on this one, and I don't usually notice it, but I thought the animation wasn't as good as it usually is.
Yeah, it did seem a little weirder. Yeah, it doesn't. But whatever. It's pretty standard for Katie Kaboom stuff. But yeah, all I really remembered in this one was, I remember what it was like to be like that in the 1990s with that one phone line that everyone had to share. And well, I was never a big phone talker, so it wasn't a big deal for me. And nobody wanted to talk to me anyway.
Now, Katie, we're your parents, kitten, and we love you. Now, please don't be irrational.
I am not irrational. I am a teenager.
Let's go ahead and wrap things up, and let's get to our water tower rating. So what do you guys think? Out of 5 water towers, how many water towers would you give tonight's episode? Nathan, let's start with you.
I'll give it a 2.
A 2? Why is that?
Yeah. There was nothing really great about any of the segments.
Yeah.
Nothing we haven't seen in any of the 3, I feel like.
Okay. And Kelly, what about you?
Same score. Do it 2. I there wasn't really anything stand out, and not my favorite segments anyways.
Right.
So I really could have used some Warner Brothers and Dot in this or something to just made it a little bit better.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give it I was going to give it a 2.5, but yeah, I gotta agree with you guys. It's 2. I've got to go down to a 2 on this one. Yeah, because it wasn't necessarily, and it wasn't bad, I wouldn't say like I'm like, oh, I hated this episode.
No,
it's just like, it wasn't. I mean, I probably wouldn't watch it again. It was okay. It was just there. Good. I guess I was going to say, like, if I'd watch any segment again, maybe it might be the Goodfeathers, because they're the Goodfeathers and they're there.
Yeah.
But
I just wish that one ended differently. Like
it just seemed to end abruptly, and then I was just like, what happened? And I was just like, what where's the egg? What's the other thing? So it just seemed like I don't know. It just wasn't the best collection of cartoons.
Yeah, no theme to them too.
Yeah. Oh well. So let's go ahead and get over to our poll results from last week.
Hello there, this is Frank, and I'm here to give you the latest Animanicast Twitter poll. Watching the Dodgers play, and hey, we're winning, so that's all good. Anyway, so listeners were asked, which of these Slappy Squirrel cartoons is your favorite? Hashtag Animaniacs, hashtag Animanicast poll. Down at the bottom there was Frontier Slappy. That one only got 7%. Then it was Smell Ya Later. That one got 9%. Scare Happy Slappy got 20%, but it was no contest, ladies and gentlemen. It was a blowout. 64% said Woodstock Slappy. So there you go. Those are the results for the poll. Back to the studio and back to me eating this hot dog over here. Give me that. Delicious.
And okay, so those were our poll results from last week. What do you guys think? What was your favorite Slappy and Skippy, or Skippy and Slappy, whatever you want to say? Which of those cartoons was your favorite? Nathan, let's start with you.
I gotta go with the crowd on this one. Woodstock Slappy, man.
Me too. Woodstock Slappy all the way. And Kelly, you already gave your vote last week, but let's say it one more time. What is it?
Woodstock Slappy.
That's right. Because, guys, it's such a good episode. It's
so good.
Yeah. What else to say about Woodstock Slappy? Go listen to our archives. There's a few episodes ago. Animanicast.com. Check it out, and you can hear us just...
Episode 59.
There we go. You can hear us talk all about Woodstock Slappy and how great it is.
What? I want you back on. Get out here.
What? Hey, what? Oh, I was trying to enjoy the game here, folks. Okay, look, I got one more thing to do here for you. All right, I got a new poll for you. All right, so listeners, we want to know what your favorite Katie Kaboom short is. All right, here are your choices. Yeah, you can vote for Katie Kaboom, driving lessons, or call waiting. All right, you can go over to twitter.com/Animanicast.
Or you can go to hashtag Animanicast poll.
Oh yeah, you can go to hashtag Animanicast poll. Do that little search thing, and you should be able to find that poll and let everybody know what you think. Yeah, that's about it. And one more thing. Tom Ruger, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Ruger is going to be on next week's show. Let me tell you something. He's going to give you some stuff you ain't never heard before. We're talking exclusive information and exclusive audio not heard in 25 years. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I see.
All right, we'll go back to the game. Have a good day, everybody. Out of here. Bye.
Well, let's go ahead and get to some contact information. Nathan, where can people get in contact with you?
Usually found on Twitter, folks. I don't know if you've heard of it.
It's this new thing.
Yes. Well, anyways, Django FT, that's me.
All right. And Kelly, what about you?
I'm on Twitter also, Yoda Princess, YODAPRNCSS, or email Kelly@BigShinyRobot.com.
All right, and you can reach us on Facebook. We are also on Twitter, and of course you can email us animaticast@retrozap.com. Head on over to retrozap.com, folks. There are so many articles podcasts that are just going every single day over there. It's the best place to be on the internet. I'm just going to go and say it. Forget the Facebook, forget the Twitter. Just have that as your homepage and just constantly refresh it and see cool stuff. That's why not? And people will be very concerned about you, but you can do it anyway. I think that's about it. So, for Nathan and Kelly, this is Joey saying good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animanicast unless otherwise indicated.
Are you quacking at me? Are you quacking at me?